and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Build, Paint, Play. I'm Dave.
And I'm Jake. It's my fault we were late. I apologize. I forgot I shut my computer off, so it had to run a bunch of updates, which took a little bit. So that's on me. I apologize.
A week's worth of updates.
Yeah, I did them all at once.
All at once. That's crazy. And it doesn't, like, so obviously you're using a PC, right? Yeah. And it doesn't let you, like, not do that, right? It automatically makes you do that every time.
Yeah. I mean, it basically was letting me know that it was running a bunch of updates, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Fantastic. Jim says, Jake late? Never.
Right, a wizard shows up precisely when he means to.
This is where you're going? You're going with the wizard?
No, I mean, that is the best. That might be the best line of all time.
It is pretty good. I do like it. I'm a big fan. So, hi Scott. Hi Jim. Hi Josh. Greetings from the pocket dimension. You're not that small, Josh.
Jeff's on here too.
Yep. Evening, everybody. Josh says, hey Scott, listen to the podcast you're on. Great stuff. Which podcast was that?
Check that out.
We'll have to track that down so we can stick the link somewhere. Excellent. But yes, hooray, we are back. We are back from AdeptiCon. I got back Sunday night. Late Sunday night. I think I got home around 10:30, 11 o'clock. Something like that. You made it back yesterday?
Yeah, I got home Monday night at like 6.
Okay. And the weather was nice enough to grill out, I see.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was definitely warmer in Boston than it was in Chicago.
Yep.
My wife said it was like almost 60 all day. By the time I got home, it was like 48, which is, I mean, as a lifelong New Englander, like, that's shorts weather. So
okay.
I was like, yeah, I'm like, she's like, do you want to grill? And I was like, 100% I will grill. So
nice.
Hung outside with the dogs, and, you know, it was nice.
Excellent. That's good. Fantastic. What did we do? What did I do last night? Not much. I think I was just
Did you do anything? Did you do anything when you got home on Sunday? Oh, it was too late on Sunday.
It was too late on Sunday. Yeah, I didn't go out and grill. The weather was nice though. It was like high 50s, low 60s.
Okay.
But no, I did not go out and grill at 11 p.m. Maybe next time.
As Brooks would say, you have to. We're honoring the gods of fire. That's what you're doing. That
right. Nice. Scott says the best line of all time is "Pain don't hurt."
Scott's close. That's not even the best Dalton line in the movie. The best Dalton line is "Be nice until it's time to not be nice." That's part of my customer service training I give to all of my guys.
Excellent. I'm surprised that Scott didn't go for 2 weeks.
Also solid.
That's the best quote. Fantastic. So normally we would go through hobby stuff. What we've been doing hobby wise.
We've been AdeptiConning.
Yep. Oh, that's what I did. That's what I did last night. Sorry, I did get some hobby in. Because I was jonesing for it after AdeptiCon.
Oh my god! All right.
I got some more Iron Hands assembled.
Nice. What is he? Half resin, half plastic, or did you just?
Oh yeah. Half resin, half plastic, all Iron Hands.
Nice. He's at Mark III.
So yeah, Mark III legs. what I did was, because the resin Iron Hands guys have funky Mark III armor.
Right, you can just double them up.
Double them up.
They have twice as many cool dudes.
Yep, exactly. So just did that sort of thing. What I've also done for a whole bunch of them is give them I think this is the Umbra pattern bolter.
Okay.
So the big chunky box magazine.
I do like that helmet. That helmet's great.
Oh yeah, that's a good one for sure. But yeah, just gave a whole bunch of the guys that. I had a spare Vox backpack.
Nice.
So I put a little what is now an augury scanner on it.
Yeah, Ben thinks that the next armor mark we're gonna see is Mark II, and I was like, it just seems like a weird choice. Like I was like, I don't know why you would do Mark II.
Yeah, I think we'll see Mark V in assault squads. That's my prediction.
That'd be kind of rad. I mean, Mark V is one of those weird amalgam. Like,
yeah.
It technically doesn't exist.
Yeah, but it'd be one where they've got the cabling on the outside of the thighs.
Okay.
And the Mark 7, basically like the Mark 7 helmet, but with the bonding studs on it.
Okay.
So that's
yeah, like it has like the Stormtrooper Matt helmet look. It has like the muzzle with like the studs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't think that's bad. Mark 6 is my favorite. I think Mark 6 is the best. After that, I do really like Mark 3. I think Mark 3 looks cool.
Yeah.
Mark 2 looks like just a collection of tubes. It looks like a little kid who made his armor out of like cardboard tubes.
Right. It is a lot like that.
It's just successively bigger like cardboard tubes.
Yep. Yeah. It's a little bit it's not the best, which is why they didn't stick with it, right?
Right.
Yeah. If it was great, they would have stuck with it. Just quickly, everybody, how do our mics sound? We've been away for a week.
Okay? Are we loud enough?
Do they sound really good?
Should we do the show all ASMR style and just
I think that would be a terrible idea.
Fantastic. Okay, so obviously, otherwise, sound is good, says Cliff. Hey, Cliff, good to see you again, and just big shout out to Cliff for picking me up from the airport when I arrived in Chicago.
Oh, right on. Yeah, you saw. I was like, because I hung out with him 2 of the days. So.
Yep, super cool. It was definitely great to see you, Cliff. Good to hang out, and lovely to meet Hillary. Chris Gawker is with us. Hey, Chris.
Hello, Chris.
Thanks for joining.
I got a good Cliff hug last day.
Right. Fantastic.
Cliff gives solid hugs. So.
Yep, I had all my chiropractic problems sorted when I arrived.
Just relax.
Scott says audio is the best it's ever been. You've finally done it, you maniacs.
Yeah, it makes perfect, I guess.
Fantastic. You shouldn't have said that, Scott. It's going to be terrible next week.
Yeah, Jake said.
Fantastic. Okay, should we? So slightly different format tonight, folks. We are going to jump straight into our photos from AdeptiCon. Basically, it's our AdeptiCon slideshow. Transport yourself way back to the late 70s, early 80s, when your parents would show you, or take you around to their friend's place so you could see slides of their vacation.
Yeah, Dave's gonna set up the overhead projector, and we'll use.
Oh, you want to use transparencies?
Yeah, transparencies.
That sounds terrible. So we'll be doing that. There are a few things that I don't think would fit into the show, so we'll cover those next week. They include the Armies on Parade. My mind is blanking at the moment, but somebody was lovely enough to post some fantastic photos in the Facebook group. So we'll be rating those next week and check those out. Also, we've had a couple of folks. So I think Jeff, Chris, Christian, and a couple of other folks have posted some of their works over the last week in the group. We will be showing those next week. Just because
Word.
we got so many photos. We got like 40 photos and a video to look at. That'd be cool.
Which again, it's not like Dave and I are not being paid or reimbursed by Adepticon in any way, shape, or form. But
No.
I think comfortably we would both say that if you have the chance next year, you should 100% go to Adepticon.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Indeed. We'll always say that, though. So.
Yeah, it is my favorite show.
Yep. So just quickly, the image that is below us, or below me here, is of the Fort Wappel area. And you'll notice there's nobody sitting at the, well, not many people sitting at the chairs because everybody's down at the end. I was getting a big photo taken for, to send to Cathy Wappel, Cathy and Jim, so everybody could say, "We miss you, get better soon." So that's what we were doing there. Super cool. And should we jump straight into it?
Yeah, what do we got? What's first?
What do we got? What do we got? First up, everybody who meets Jake is always incredibly surprised by how tall he is, including me. I'm regularly surprised when we end up standing next to each other, and I remember how tall he is. So there we go. But this is a shot of us Thursday morning.
Yeah, I think that was the first day.
Yeah.
Oh, no, is that Thursday? Yeah, I think that's Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thursday. I was wearing the same shirt.
Yeah, nice.
That's something I did yesterday. I washed my clothes yesterday. But yeah, this is at the Warzone Eternal booth. And a little bit later we'll see a cool demo table.
Yeah, that somebody made.
In action. Somebody made. Some jackass made. Awesome. Dave Humble says it's on the list for next year, but I just dropped 10K this week on a house and a move. We'll see if we can recover from that.
Time.
Fingers crossed you can, Dave. Fingers crossed you can. I'm sure it's being a great place. You'll enjoy it. Jason's in the chat. Hey, Jason. I know you guys. Yes, we're all a bunch of nerds.
It's all true.
And Scott is here. Podcast of Scale Creep is real. It's true.
Dude, I'm still tired from that show.
Yep. Just as while Jason has appeared, he has indeed. It was very cool. I had lunch with Jason on Saturday, I think. Pretty sure it was Saturday, where I was wearing my my hobby nerd shirt for Monument. But definitely cool. Great chat.
I picked up one of the Monument like paint sets, but they were out of like the regular one.
Yep.
So I picked up a different one.
Yep.
And I got the white because you always rave about the white, and I picked up a color that Chris liked. So I unboxed and I hand the box to Ben today, and it's like, yeah, but like the set that I bought is like, it's like a super random assortment.
Yep.
And Ben literally looked at it and was like, "What am I supposed to paint with this?" it's like there's like a electric green and like a dark blue and like kind of a neutral brown, and he's like, I don't know what I'm working on right now that I need all these for, but I will. He's like, we will definitely try them out. I was like, all right.
That would be fantastic if he can paint like just only paint using those colors.
Oh God, you're only allowed to use those.
That'll really test his skills.
That's the challenge.
Excellent. That'd be cool. So first up, I think we've got to look through some different tables, some different terrains, some cool stuff that we saw there. I just want to say, so we've got 40 photos for us to look through and yammer about, but this is nowhere near all the photos that we took, and we didn't take anywhere near as many photos as we could have. So I actively encourage you to seek out other venues for awesome photos of the show. I think I've linked the AdeptiCon Facebook page in the notes below, so you can check those out. But first up, we've got one that Jake sent me, and I think this was at the Battlefront booth. It was the Hex Towers.
Oh yeah. This is the new Hex equipped buildings that they're releasing.
Okay.
So you can technically use them with anything. Obviously, these have been cut so they fit onto a hex map. So if you're playing BattleTech or Ogre or what was the other one that we were talking about that was up front?
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh God, it's like it's not BattleTech. I can't think of the name of it.
Steel Rift?
So Steel Rift, yes, but Steel Rift doesn't use hexes either.
Okay.
There's another game. I can't think of the name of it.
Anyway.
But like they were there, and there's another one. You don't have to use them with BattleTech, but
Right.
they are the right scale. But they're super cool. I think we'll probably see these. I think this summer,
Okay.
and they're like really, really like solidly priced.
Yeah.
And they're already painted. They'll look like just like this out of the box.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Heavy Gear. That's the one I was
Yep.
thinking of.
Alex has joined us. Hey, Alex. Great
What's up, Alex?
Great to see you. Excellent to meet you in person over the weekend. So that was cool. But yeah, I think those buildings look really cool.
The other thing
Very
I like
nice.
about their stuff is they always put like on the bottom there's like felt.
Okay.
So they won't like scratch stuff up. And
Right.
you could like if you use them on paper mats, you could slide them and it's not gonna like rip them either.
Right.
So that's kind of cool.
That is good. Yeah.
The big one on the right, I think, is modular. I think you can take that one either in half or you can take it off like the foot that it sits on.
That's cool.
They're pretty rad.
Yeah, they
and
do
then
look good. Very nice.
the blue mechs that are on there, Jeff painted those, I believe.
Okay. Excellent. Did you paint those, Jeff? You'll have to let us know.
I think he did I think I only got 4 of them in this picture, but there was a lance of 5 blue and yellow mechs, and then there was like somebody had like a gray one just out of a box, but
Cool. Brian's joined us. Hi, Brian. Cool. And Jeff says, yep, he painted those.
yeah. And they look great. In person they looked really, really nice.
Yeah. Excellent work. Next up. Oh, look at it. It's nice and early. So this is the demo table that I painted for, that I built and painted for Res Nova. So Alex and Jake and Rick and Brian.
It looked great. You can't see it from this angle, but basically if you turn that thing
There's
Oh,
another
okay,
photo.
So this was the view that you would have got if you were playing on the table,
Yep.
because this was facing the customer from this angle.
But of course, in this photo, this one's taken from my dining room table. It was covered in paint pots and glue and Chipotle bags and
I think it was like I see some kind of DoorDash over there.
some sort of what? Yeah, that was pickup from Chipotle, I think. Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, this was a lot of fun to work on. Tried a lot of different things in there. One thing I tried that was quite cool was, rather than my usual paint the surface with glue, sprinkle the sand on, let it dry, paint it over with paint, I mixed the paint, the sand, and the glue together to form a slurry, and spread it on. It gave me some extra sort of different thicknesses, some variation in the texture, but when it dried in certain areas, it gave this fantastic cracking. It's really, in this case, it was particularly sort of alien setting kind of cracking. It looked
It's a pro move.
looked pretty good, completely by accident. How about that? But yeah, as Jake was about to say, if you spin it around, look at it from the other angle, it's done in the Algaroth symbol or icon. So,
And you even put it on the door, which is great. So people were like, "What is this supposed to look like?" I was like, "It looks like that."
yeah. So that was a lot of fun. Very cool to do that.
It came through the weekend in pretty good shape. In this picture,
Yep.
the bottom, like at the bottom of the screen, the column on the left, the green the green like alien column,
Greenstone
that
column.
got broken off. That got broken off on the last day.
Yeah.
I think that was it. And then we had 2 people be like, "Oh, I really like the bunker," and like pull the roof off.
Yeah. Was it the one on the right hand side there?
The middle one.
Oh, the middle one. Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't glue that down too hard.
No, it was just toothpicks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had to like line it up and like carefully put it back because we didn't want to like make it so it would fall off. So we very carefully put it back. But But yeah, the table looked great. We got a lot of compliments on it. A lot of people really liked it. It came out dynamite.
And a lot of people enjoyed the demos.
Oh yeah.
Tons of demos we run on it. Very cool. So yeah, I think when is it? May 2nd? Warzone Eternal's going to Kickstarter.
Yeah, Kickstarter goes live May 2nd.
So sometime around then we'll have. We might try and do the double guest. Maybe have Alex and Brian on.
Sure.
And see how that goes. We'll work that out.
As long as they share a camera, so they're both like sitting at the same desk.
That would be great. What would be next? Let me see. Okay, next up is, I think I mentioned this a little bit before the show, but a little bit before AdeptiCon, but a buddy of mine, Ben Hardy, built a campaign map for the Adeptus Titanicus gaming.
That's so rad.
So when I say he built it, he and a couple other people like 3D sculpted hive cities, manufactorums, ash wastes.
How big are the hexes?
The hexes are so from flat side to flat side is is it flat side to flat side? Yeah, I think it's like 5 inches.
Oh damn! Yeah, so they're like this big.
Yeah. They are nice and big and chunky. I've got a couple of detailed shots of them. So let me slide those in.
That is rad.
So essentially, for all of the Adeptus Titanicus gaming across the weekend, it was all involved in, basically all about conquering different parts of the continent. Here, he had another board off to the side with all the different locations, and as they were conquered, he'd pop the what do you call it?
Either the eagle or the eye.
The eagle or the eye. Thank you very much. Just quickly, sorry.
Sean says, Settlers of Catan Titanicus edition.
Yeah, pretty much, John. It was much like that. Great to see you in the chat. Thanks, John, for joining us.
I will trade you wood. I'll trade you wood for Promethium.
Yeah, pretty much. I love it. I love the colors on that sort of that desert, sort of the fiery desert in the center.
Yeah, the middle one. That one looks great.
Looks great.
Like a radiated wasteland.
Yep. Jeff says, very nice. Dave says, ooh, I like. It's because everything is better with a cool map. It is indeed. And Brian said it was amazing to play in that all weekend. I wish the Loyalists had won a few more games to make it close. But for those of us who played all 3 days, they made custom Legio counters as well. That's very cool. But yeah, it was.
Brian was playing his Legio Crucis, I believe.
Yeah, he was. I think we have a photo of his collection later on, which is cool. But yeah, here's some focal bits. So a little Adeptus Mechanicus, or I guess this would be Mechanicum forge site.
Dude, that's rad.
And there's so few opportunities in your life to say the word Caldera. So to be able to have a look at this tile and see a spire city in a hive inside a caldera, it's fantastic. Does my caldera loving heart good. Oh, Rick is here. Hey, Rick.
Yeah, Rick just jumped down. Oh yeah, that's his Legio Crucis fist.
Right there
to the left.
Awesome.
The black fist with the cog.
Yep, fantastic. Very nice. And here's, I think this might be the last one I've got. Here's another one.
That is really cool, though.
So you imagine if that tile is 5 inches across, so that hive city is probably 6 inches tall.
That's so awesome.
And so awesomely detailed. Yes. And thanks, Dave. Bonus points for the most uses of Caldera in a sentence. I'm trying. But no, that was awesome. So that was Ben Hardy who did that. So for anybody playing in the AT, they got to see that. But it's the kind of thing that you'll see at AdeptiCon a lot. Different TOs going all out to make sure that there's something special about the weekend. And here is one of the Adeptus Titanicus tables. I think this one had the tallest buildings on it.
Nice.
But it does look fantastic. The mat was designed by Mark Rayleigh, who was also running the event. And also a shout out to Casey, who was running the event with them.
I think next year, I think this is what I'm going to do is Titanicus. I have a ton of Titanicus stuff. I've built like a fraction of it.
Right.
But I love it.
Yeah. It did look fantastic. And there were a number of people who had the War Master Titans, which are even bigger than the Warlords. And they just looked fantastic. But I think I'd have to spend like a couple of days assembling and then maybe a month painting it.
There, I will say, like these buildings here.
Yeah.
So that's probably 4 or 5 sets of the actual GW buildings. It is daunting how many you need to make a building. So the building kind of in the front middle, the one that looks like a church.
Yep.
With the Warlord behind it, and then off to the right, the long little low building with the 2 Warhounds on it.
Yep.
You can make both of those out of basically one set.
Yeah.
Like it is crazy how many of those things you need.
Yep. Oh,
Scott, you are wrong.
So that was Brian saying that's my Titans getting smoked. And I think you were playing against Mark Rayleigh in this one, but yeah, fantastic looking table. But yeah, I think that's why 3D printing is going to be is very good for Titanicus. They go hand in hand.
Yeah, for the buildings, I think it makes sense. Just because you need a good amount of scenery for that game. So
no, definitely.
Was this like a loyalists on loyalists game? It looks like, is Mark playing Fire Wasps?
You might be, but you never know.
I see lots of yellow stripes and red armor. So
this is true. Next up, we move back into the vendor hall, and this was one of the tables at the Crocodile Games / Pulp Figures booth. So this was one that was built by Chris Fitzpatrick. It's fantastic sort of canyon through there with all sorts of, but it was populated with Pulp Figures miniatures. So all the stuff by Bob Murch. And a great sort of excavation stuff going on.
this table is pretty neat.
One of my favorite things about it, and it's just absolutely crazy that I should be this excited about it. But at the end, actually at each end, Chris had put in a mirror. So
So it looks like it.
Yeah, you walk past it, and it just went on forever. It was the best. The canyon, the table felt like it was sort of 4 or 5 feet longer than it actually was.
Yeah, it was yeah, and James nailed it. It literally all it was missing was like, Indiana Jones in a stolen German uniform with a rocket launcher aimed at like Belloc and like the last Ark.
Yeah. Actually, one of the cool things is down in front of the. So basically, you've got the top of the side of the table in the foreground here, and just over that edge, there are a whole bunch of sort of. Oh, my mind's gone blank now. It always does this as crucial moments.
The table itself, when you walk by, like you can kind of see people's hands in the background. The table is like a foot deep.
Yeah. Yep.
So like you walk by the table and you're like, oh, it's a table, and then the terrain is built down into the table.
Yeah.
Or they built it up and put walls on the sides, but it if you look at it, like if you look down the aisle so you can't see it, it just looks like a big black rectangle.
Yeah.
And then when you get there, it's like it is like dug into the table. It was really neat.
Yep, it was really neat. But essentially, the what I was going to say is there's a whole bunch of almost Egyptian style aliens that were coming out of that had been unearthed. So
Not have opened that cave.
yeah, it was definitely very cool. So I wanted to highlight that one. We also saw this table, which is another Chris Fitzpatrick build. Folks who have been to Historicon or to Gen Con in recent years might have seen this before. So this was for War Gods of Olympus.
Yep, I saw this table. This table is right next to it because if you look past it, you can see the Warzone table.
All right, yep. Down in the down here. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah,
I just realized I'm using my mouse again to move it around.
Top right.
Yep.
So you see there's the guy sitting with his hands crossed, and then the next table you can see the table on it.
Yep.
But yeah, this table is really cool. That where the Hydra is walking across that that bridge. And then that bridge itself is really cool because there's like that sort of rock outcrop that it connects to, and then there's like a stone ramp.
Right.
But this table would be wild to play like a skirmish game on.
Yeah. Yep. It would be absolutely awesome. But super cool stuff there. So 2 great tables from Chris Fitzpatrick, which is lovely to see. Very cool. Next up, I think now we have a quick run through some of the things, some of the minis that Jake loved at the show. Unfortunately, there are no Malifaux minis in this set, Scott. But first up was Relic Blade. So you've got a shot of the cabinet. Did Sean have some new stuff there for Relic Blade?
Yeah, so all this stuff was all new. This is part of, I think it's the Catacombs.
Okay.
And Ben, my business partner Ben, is obsessed with this game, so I took a photo of this to get some of the new stuff.
Yep.
And the models look really rad. And then Ben was like, I want all the Catacomb stuff. So I got him the new book and the new cards and 3 of the units. He was missing one of them, but the guy was like, oh yeah, I know Ben, just have him message me. And he is such a nice guy. He is literally a one-man operation.
Yep.
He designs, prints, and makes all the minis, all the rule books, everything himself.
Yeah. That is pretty amazing.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Definitely. Just recently he's been helped a bit by Malev. And Malev had his first game at the show, which was Demon Ship, which is like a micro solo game. Which looks pretty cool. So
is that part of the same booth as him?
Basically, Sean was kind of next to the Black Site Studios booth.
Yeah.
And Black Site Studios is publishing Malev's Demon Ship game.
Okay.
So well as
all the Black Site stuff is super cool. Like,
yeah,
I love the look of Lunar. Like, Alex and I were laughing about the minis. Like, there's like 2 cosmonauts fighting 2 American astronauts, and like one of the cosmonauts has a hatchet. Because the idea is like, I don't have to kill you, I just have to like cut open your suit.
Yep.
That's
what you gotta do.
It's ridiculous. Like, it's a bunch of like 1960s astronauts running around on the moon. Their table was really cool. They like built like a demo scene into the side of their like merchandising cabinet.
Yeah.
So that was pretty neat.
That's fantastic.
And then they have a new game where it's very similar, but it's much more horror oriented. You're fighting these weird like aliens on the moon.
Okay.
I forget what that one's called, but yeah, all their stuff looks really, really neat.
Cool. Definitely, it was a great looking booth.
And their packaging looks like independent coffee.
Okay. Oh,
it's like metal. It's like plastic envelopes.
The stuff for Luna.
Yeah.
It looks like the stuff that it's the pouches that astronauts use. So like if you're up on the International Space Station,
yeah,
and you were gonna like have a meal, you peel it open and you would eat from that bag.
Have you ever had like astronaut ice cream or anything like that?
Yeah, freeze dried ice cream. Violent Dark. There we go. It's the sci-fi horror game.
Yep.
From Black Site Studios.
Josh says, as opposed to non-weird aliens on the moon.
Sure.
Yeah, they're not standard aliens. They're weird aliens.
I think you'll find that humans on the moon would be aliens. They would be
True,
alien to the
exactly.
moon. But, yep, definitely cool.
Not anymore. It has our flag on it. It's ours.
Oh, right. I think you'll find that the flag is faded to white.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it has. So there we go. Next up is Steel Rift. What'd you pick up for this?
I was a fan. So the box on the left, the 3 red guys on the left, and then there's 3 guys up top in another box. You get all those in the starter set. And so the box on the left, the red and the Christmas mechs is the freelance starter.
Right.
So that's all freelance mechs. The one on the right is the corporate faction. So the corporate faction is like big business, and then there's the authority is the other faction.
Okay.
And then freelance can work for anybody, or they can be on their own.
Right.
But it's BattleTech-ish in that it's giant mechs, but they have lots of support units. So there's like, I think they're all called HVEs or HEVs, and there's super heavies. So like in this picture,
The big guy that's in the back left
sorry.
of the corporate action box.
I've moved on to the.
Oh, it's fine.
Yep.
So then these are sport vehicles.
Yep.
So you've got mediums and lights.
Right.
I picked up the middle ones in the big middle ones, the ones that look like Cobra Hiss tanks.
Right.
And then Ben got the 2 on the right, the green like brick looking things.
Right.
And then we both liked the green little ones because I think they look like the Batmobile. They look like the Tumbler.
Yeah.
So we're gonna paint ours different, but he's gonna have those 4 and I'll have the other 4.
Cool.
But again, they want it to be a mech game. So when you play, you can have up to, I think it's like 20 tons of support,
Okay.
which is basically these things, the vehicles, the light vehicles, and like the ultralight walkers, which you'll see in the next picture.
Oh no.
Oh no, okay.
Sorry.
So there's you have light vehicles, medium vehicles, and then ultralight walkers, and then the walkers come in 4 classes. There's light, medium, heavy, and then there's super heavy.
Okay.
And you can only field 1 super heavy, but it's super fun. You can kind of like customize everything, and you can mix and match the stuff. It's miniatures agnostic. So if you didn't want to buy their mechs, you can just use whatever sort of mechs you might have, and then just use the rule book. But it's a little bit less picky and fiddly than BattleTech is. Like I love BattleTech, but there were times where it's like, if we're gonna run 4 mechs against each other, that's gonna take us an hour or 2. We can run a big game in this, and you can do it a lot quicker, just because there's no like, you don't have to worry about heat, and there's no like creative accounting phase. We have to like take care of like all your weapons and how much you moved, and like it's a lot more streamlined. But it's really fun, and the mechs are great, and the guys at Death Ray are super cool. So
Yep. Very cool. And it was cool to see Ash there as well.
Yep.
As well as Austin and Joe and the team. Very cool to see
I
Ash.
thought of you when I was looking at these. The truck on the left, the big red one.
Yep.
I think it looks like a Hekaton land fortress.
It does, yeah. Yep. Yeah, for sure. It's super cool. And to describe the like the light walkers, I guess the ultra light walkers, whatever. There's one of them that looked a lot like the suits from Avatar.
Yeah, there's 3 different patterns.
Yep.
One of them very much looks like it. The other one looks like a giant, looks more like Japanese robot, like Ultraman or like a small Gundam.
Okay.
And then the last one looks like something out of like a Saturday morning cartoon. They're really fun. It's just each of the 3 factions has a very specific kind of vibe. Like you,
cool.
on the first picture, the streamlined like blue mechs.
Yep.
That match the gray vehicles here. They have a real Tau look. They look very like sleek and futuristic and
Right.
but it's really fun. And the guy I forget who I was talking to, it was either Joe or John. They were talking about how you can technically mix and match stuff across the factions.
Yep.
It's because all of the profiles are similar.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
yes, God, we probably could wrangle Ash as a guest.
Probably. Yes. Yes. We will when the time is right. We will wrangle him like never before. moving right along.
But yeah, but I grabbed a bunch of that stuff, and I grabbed a bunch of it for Ben.
Yep. We've got some. We've got a picture. We have a picture of Shatterpoint models. So, did you get to play a demo of Shatterpoint?
I did. Rick was able to get a ticket, so we went over and we tried it. It's pretty fun. It is definitely going to be like a quick game. The rules are really straightforward.
So just quickly for those who don't know, so Atomic Mass Games are releasing Star Wars Shatterpoint.
Right. So for
At
anybody
some
who
point.
plays miniature games at the moment, if you've played Marvel Crisis Protocol, which is the Marvel sort of like skirmish game like this, it is essentially this is going to be like the Star Wars equivalent. It's not the same game. It has different rules, but it's the same scale. So it's that, I mean, I don't know what scale it is, but everything is considerably bigger than, it's not 28 mil.
It's probably 40, right? Somewhere around that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So like if a Primera Space Marine is this big,
Yep.
I don't know if anybody can see me. I know we're
Probably not. Hang on.
But so well, then I'll just do it this way. So like if you look at like Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's there.
Yep.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Primera Space Marine probably comes up to like the middle of his chest.
Oh, right. Okay.
So everything's a little bit bigger.
Quite
Yeah, Chris
tall.
said 40 mil. That's probably right.
Yeah.
It's
It's probably pretty close to that. But
Yeah.
yeah, these models were incredibly detailed. That General Grievous was
he's big.
pretty amazing. Yeah. Not just because he was standing on something, on a tactical
Yeah,
rock.
he's just a huge model. But so that the two things that they're showing here, that's the two supplement boxes. So there's the Kenobi box comes with Kenobi, Commander Cody, who's in the back, sort of middle on the left, and then there's two clone troopers with him.
Right.
And then Grievous, you get Grievous, the super tactical droid to his right, the green looking droid,
Yep.
and then the two bases of B2 battle droids.
Right.
Those each count as like a unit. So you typically get 4 units when you play.
Yep.
You have I'm gonna forget their terms, but you basically have like a commander, like an assistant commander, and then like two like troops or units.
So like leader, henchman, and minions.
Basically,
Essentially.
yeah. When Rick and I played, I had Ahsoka, and then Bo-Katan, and then 2 Mandalorians.
Okay.
And Rick had Anakin, Captain Rex, and 2 501st Legionnaires.
Okay.
And we were playing against the other half, which was one guy had the named it's the named combat droid, and then he had 2 units of B1 battle droids as his like goons.
Okay.
And then he had who was this other guy? I can't remember who the fourth one was. And then
C-3PO.
No, definitely not C-3PO. And then the guy that I was playing against had Lord Maul, so it's Darth Maul with his robot legs.
Yep.
And then Gar Saxon, who's the leader of like another sect of Mandalorians that ally with Darth Maul.
Okay.
And then 2, I think, Death Watch. So Gar Saxon and then 2 Death Watch Mandalorians.
Okay.
But it was really cool. Like there's each unit has things it can do no matter what. Like Anakin's whole thing is like Anakin wants to jump into a combat that's already happening.
For
and
a
just,
second
like,
there, I thought you were going to say a fiery pit, but keep going.
That's later. That's only when he plays Obi-Wan. But like all of the characters can use Force to like do stuff. So like one of the coolest ones was it's Ventress. That's it. It's Ventress Kalani. I always forget Kalani's name because I'm just like Kalani's just another droid. But like one of the coolest ones is like all the Mandalorians and both Mandalorians, whether they're on the dark side of the light side, they have jump packs.
Okay.
So you can utilize a Force die if you roll it. You can flip a Force die, and anybody can activate their jump pack, and it just lets you kind of do like dynamic movement and stuff in the game, which is pretty cool. But it was fun. It's definitely gonna be it's fast and it's easy to pick up, but there's a lot of like layered complexity. Like it's definitely the sort of game that like the more you play it, you can be like, oh well, I could do this and I could move this thing over here, and It seems pretty cool.
Scott says, Shatterpoint sucks. Stupid game. All that matters is who has the high ground.
It only that only matters if you're playing against Anakin.
Yeah. Yep.
Otherwise, the high ground doesn't do anything.
No. It's just important against him. That's his only weakness.
Yeah, right now,
That and pride.
The deal is the deal
High
is
ground
right
and
now,
pride are his two weaknesses.
if you pre-order the starter, you get an alternate Ahsoka.
Okay.
There's like a Padawan Ahsoka, I think, alternate sculpt.
Cool. Josh says, I hear it's more shooty killy than pushy shovey.
It's a little bit of both, because when we played, the girl running the demo, who did a great job, showed us that like we moved up on turn 1, and she was just showing us the mechanics. So we moved up and put like the 2 clone troopers on the objectives.
Yep.
And she was like, so you flip them so you guys control them, but the first round you have them, you don't get any points.
Right.
It's just like you control them. So then she moved up Kalani, and Kalani does this ability where Kalani moves up, shoots, and if he wins, he can push you. So the idea is he pushes you. His guns like bump you backwards,
Right.
and then because of that, he can push you. So he pushes the trooper further off the objective. So now it's not contested.
Right.
So you there is a lot of it in all the 4 characters.
Oh,
That's just really neat. So
slow down for a sec.
sure.
You went all crazy there. You're frozen.
I'm frozen.
Yeah. It's going so well.
It doesn't look like I'm frozen on my screen. I can see myself in the little thumbnail.
There's something in between. Somewhere in between us. But anyway, you're good now.
Back to normal.
Okay, so that was Shatterpoint. There we go.
but pretty cool. So they also teased while we were there. So there's the base game, and then there's the Kenobi expansion, and then there's the Grievous expansion.
Yep.
And then while we were there, they teased that there's going to be there, I forget what they're called. There's 2 other like of the Dark Jedi, and you can get them. And then there's going to be They teased there's going to be Ewoks, but we haven't seen them yet. So
Oh, okay.
who doesn't love murder like cannibal teddy bears?
Yep. Just says, looks at old WEG Star Wars stuff, looks at new Star Wars stuff, begins sweating profusely. I think you'll be buying some, Josh. I think you'll be buying some. Next up,
they're really nice sculpts.
speaking of droids, this was a fun scene I wandered past at one point with some cosplayers in the hall. There were three sort of Adeptus Mechanicus adepts protesting various AIs.
Yeah, the chat GPT equals heresy was spectacular.
Yep. And it was just, it was fun. Fairly simple costumes there, but there was another person standing there. You can see them just in front with a full sort of Krieg outfit. Had the helmet, the gas mask. Looked like an engineer because the gun was pretty sweet. But it was a little short for a Death Corps trooper.
I mean, that's not true. The whole planet serves.
This is true. But they look fantastic. So it was good. They were wandering around most of the show. Definitely good. There wasn't a lot of cosplay this time around. There was a little bit.
There's never a ton at Adepticon. Like
No.
I think the craziest I've ever seen is like a dozen people. So,
Right.
but this one was good.
But yeah. Right, nice. And John Roberts has piped up Ewoks.
Yeah, they teased them. They were talking about it at the booth, and I got a photo. I don't know if Dave put in. I got a photo of the new Legion Ewoks.
You got a blurry photo of the new Legion
One
Ewoks.
was blurry, but one was crystal clear because I was showing it to all the guys at the store today.
Oh, that didn't come through then. No, I didn't put it in. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So there's gonna be Ewoks in Legion, But then while we were at the booth, one of the demo guys said that there's gonna be Ewoks in Shatterpoint, which just seems amazing.
Yep. I wonder if they're going to be like 3-door base. Like those battle droids with 2-door base. Oh, Hank's here. He says, I'm late. You are. Not quite as late as Jake was, but...
I mean, come on, let's be serious.
All good. So next up we have a quick video of Fort Wappel on Thursday morning. So a little bit quiet. Most of the weekend it was completely busy, but here we go. This is the Fort Wappel site.
Alex just said they showed the Legion and the Shatterpoint Ewoks during the AMG seminar.
Cool.
Yeah, there we go.
Excellent.
Nice.
So I think this will just keep looping, but yeah. So this is in the morning, so people just sitting down, getting ready. All those art lights that you see there, they're all provided. You just bring your own palettes, your own paints, brushes, that sort of thing. There are cups with painting water. For water. But also there's a rack for Reaper paints, the Reaper Master Series. There's a rack of GW paints, and there's a rack of Pro Acryl paints from Monument there, so everybody can try those out.
I do love those. I do love those lamps. Those lamps are great.
Yeah, I got one sitting over here.
Who is this guy at the end of the table dressed like Necromunda Mario?
He is Necromunda Mario. That's his name. Yes, Necromunda Mario.
Nice.
No, he's part of a Necromunda team. I think there was a team event, but he's obviously an Orlok, right?
It's me, Necromunda Mario.
But so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I saw another guy in the same uniform, and all of the models were painted with the yellow sleeves, black vests, red bandanas.
Nice.
So it was fantastic. One thing that was funny as well is, let me find, and pause it at this spot. There we go. So this guy, the guy with the Hawaiian shirt on, that there's a sort of pink shape there. That is Sean McAfee's head. Sean is Brush for Hire online. So it's like a side view. Sean has this big pink mohawk. So yeah, there was a little tribute shirt
Nice.
to Sean McAfee. Well, Sean was there. I mean, he was running classes and stuff. But yeah, this guy had the Sean McAfee shirt.
Pretty funny.
Yep. But yeah, definitely cool. But yeah, anytime during the show you can sit down there and get some painting on. Particularly Friday night and Saturday morning, there was a lot of painting going on for people finishing up their entries in a bunch of the painting competitions that were there.
Yeah, we wandered in. I think Wednesday night we wandered in to see you guys, and then I think I wandered by Thursday night. That was about it. The rest of the time I didn't get a chance to go.
Yeah, I was hanging out in this area for most of the show. I usually help out here, but this year they had what do we have? Shifts. That's what they call them, where you sign up for a shift. So I did a shift on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So about 5.5 hours for each shift. And my jobs included emptying paint water and handing out paper towels.
This is a great photo. This guy looks psyched.
Cool. This is Ben Comets. Remember the Sanguinius, I think it was Sanguinius versus Cabanda from last year?
Oh, yeah.
The diorama? Ben did that.
Well, he's clearly the best. That diorama was amazing.
Yep. Ben's awesome. So, yeah, last year he brought that Cabanda and Sanguinius diorama from Germany.
Oh, my God.
This year, he brought... his entry was a Skaven. like a Skaven assassin, with a fantastic, basically sort of running along a sewer pipe and
Much more reasonable.
what's that?
Much more reasonable.
Much more
to
reasonable,
transport.
yeah. I asked him, one of the first things I said was, how much cooler was it just bringing that rather than the big thing? And he was like, it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
He's like, I'm just gonna carry this little guy through security.
Yep.
And he's gonna sit on my trade table on the plane.
Yep. He just had a tiny, he was in a tiny Tupperware container.
Yep.
It was awesome. But definitely cool. Josh says, I recognize some of those fellow Twitchers. That's cool. I think the guy that was sitting next to the one in the Hawaiian shirt said he streams, had some fantastic looking models that he was working on. Did you get to stop by the Paint and Pass with Tony from YGGM? He was just around the corner from there. I didn't get a photo. I didn't get a video of him or a photo, but I think Rick got to talk to Tony. But basically, what Tony does each year, or the last couple, well, he did it last year. I think he did it pre-COVID as well. Was stream for, don't know if it's 24 hours, sort of constantly, but basically gets a painter to come in, sit down, work on a model. Last year it was like a Stonehorn model from the Ogre Moor tribes. This year it was Magnus, the Demon Primarch Magnus. And you sit down for an hour or so, paint on it, get some stuff done, talk to the chat, answer questions, and then hop up and another painter will sit down and pick up from where you left off. Maybe work on the same area, maybe work on a different area. And then over the course of the weekend, the model gets painted, and I think it gets auctioned off for charity.
That's pretty rad. I like that.
Yeah, definitely cool. Rick says, I'm thinking of submitting for the AMG painting competition next year. That would be super cool. Yeah, Ben. So it was Ben, Dallas, and Elizabeth Beckley who judged the Worthy painting competition, which is awesome. I didn't get any photos of that, but I think they had 120 entries in their first year. So definitely very cool. They have an open format for that, which is where you can get, well, basically there's no real limit to the number of bronzes, silvers, or golds that can be awarded in a particular category. But this next photo is the basically inside Ben's class. You get a shot and see folks taking it. I think this was possibly a loaded brush class that Ben does, which he uses for some beautiful blending. But that's kind of the setups in the hobby seminar classrooms.
Nice. I've just started getting into using a wet palette.
Yeah.
I like a lot of times I don't, because I'm usually doing like, one guy at a time.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, well, who cares? Doing vehicles, I was like, my paint kept drying out. I was like, I need a little bit of yellow, and as soon as I got it mixed, I'd do like the first stripe, and then it'd be dry, and I'm like, oh man. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try a wet palette. So
yeah, that's good.
And now I like it.
Excellent. It's good. This one, this class here is Chris Surrey preparing for a basing class, which is pretty cool. Chris, of course, is volume 4 in the Art of series, and we had a book signing there as well. So that was super cool that Chris could be there and sign his books at the Michigan Toy Soldier booth.
Is that the one I edited? I can't remember.
I think it was. Yep, I think it was.
He has like some really cool stuff in it. If it's the one I edited, like my favorite is he did that diorama with the dwarf like cook.
Right. Yep.
The halfling cook.
Yep.
And this whole kitchen.
Yep.
It's really, really neat. His awareness of like color and shadow is like really, really good. So
yeah, that's Chris. That's him. Scott says, I'd love a list of all the non-Golden Demon painting comps at Adepticon. Couldn't find a real comprehensive list anywhere. You might have missed the episode that we did with Hank Edley, Scott, where we talked about that. I think there were five that I can remember. So there's Golden Demon, there was The Worthy from AMG, which was for the Marvel Crisis Protocol.
If Hank is still on, he could probably tell us.
What's that?
If Hank is still on, he could probably tell us.
You can probably tell us. But there was also the Grandmaster painting competition for Privateer Press. There was the Resin Beast competition from Creature Caster and Parabellum teamed up for that. So any of the Conquest miniatures, I can't remember the categories were, but Conquest miniatures and the Resin Beast, the Creature Caster miniatures. Clay Williams, friend of the show, walked away with some tasty prizes from the Resin Beast competition.
Rick said Mantic had Brush with Death.
Yep. Mantic had Brush with Death, so that's what I got. Golden Demon, The Worthy, Grandmaster, Resin Beast, Brush with Death. I think that was it. There might have been one more, but I can't quite remember. But let's say there were five, so four non-GW painting competitions there.
I got a chance to talk to Hank a little bit on I think it was Saturday. It was Saturday or Sunday. We were talking about like all the people that were there, and we were talking about like how you log in and all this stuff. And I didn't realize that there's like 700 different things you can sign up for.
Yeah,
like
That's like mind-boggling that there are that many options.
Yep. No, absolutely incredible. So yeah, an amazing amount of things. While we're talking about that, and just before we jump into talking about Vince, I think Matthias was saying that there were 5,800 pre-reg, which was up 1,200 on last year.
And that wasn't counting like day of badges and passes.
That's not counting on-site badges or individuals who just came in to shop.
Yeah, and I didn't really think of that. Hank pointed that out. When we were standing there. He was like, "Look around. How many people do you see that don't have badges on?" And it was like, "Oh, there's one. Oh, there's another one. Oh, those three guys don't. Oh, those two guys don't. Oh, this guy doesn't. Oh, that family doesn't." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, there's actually a lot." So we figured about 10 to 20% of the people that were there that day probably didn't have badges. And I was like, even if it's 10%, that's another 500 or 600 people. And if it's 20%, it's another 1,400 people.
Yep.
So
which 1,400 people would take that up over what do you call it? Over 7,000.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily over 7.
So very definitely the largest Adepticon yet. But no, absolutely awesome. One of the things that I was able to do for the weekend, it was go without a badge. I didn't have to pick my badge up from registration. Always like to see if I can do that.
See, I needed mine because I have to be able to get into the vendor hall.
Yeah. I will admit, I didn't try to get into the vendor hall outside of hours this year.
You probably would have been fine.
Probably would have been.
I told you about the guy coming to our table.
This guy came up to our table, and I don't remember if it was me or Brian, or I think Brian gave him one of our stickers.
Yep.
And was like, "Oh, here's a sticker for Build Paint Play like that Jake hosts along with our buddy Dave. Dave Taylor is the co-host, and he did this table." And the guy went, "The Dave Taylor?" And we're like, "Obviously."
Excellent. That's funny. Hey, Chris. Welcome.
What's up,
Chris? Jim says wet palettes are a wonderful thing. They are indeed. Mine is an exemplar from the Game Envy. Scott says, I saw the massive line for registration. Can you pay to skip that? Is there some kind of bonus package like at the LVO? I don't know. There are lines at certain times.
Chris just answered it for you.
Oh, there we go. The VIG package lets you skip the normal registration line and all the riffraff in it. Nice. Dan says, the Dave Taylor. Yes, indeed. But Dan, going back to your original, your earlier comment of I got tons of photos of it. If you want them, Dave, if you could do me a favor, Dan, and pop them into a post in the Build Paint Play Facebook group, that would be awesome. Then we can all check them out. That would be great. Yes.
God.
Oh my goodness.
Can't risk getting touched by any of the pores.
Don't worry. They'll all touch you.
Chris, congrats, man! If you're getting a new job, that's awesome.
Oh, fantastic. We'll be off early on Tuesdays again.
We got some foreshadowing. Hank is saying, wait for next year.
Oh, that sounds good. I like that. But yes, I'm going to just quickly move to the big screen. There we go. And I know it's back to front on my camera. Sorry about that. But Build Paint Play. Do you happen to have one handy, Jake? Which isn't back to front?
They're upstairs on the desk.
Okay, no worries. So we were able to give out some of those.
It looks just like that, only backwards.
Like that?
Not like that though.
Oh, like that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Sure.
Okay. Great. So yes, it was fun to be able to hand out the Build Paint Play stickers. Definitely cool. So now we have loads and loads of those all around the place. I think next...
I don't have a lot left. I gave probably 150 to Rick because he's going to take him to C2E2.
Okay. I gave about 150 to Cliff.
Okay.
And Cliff stuck them on people.
Awesome.
All weekend.
I hope they're on every single car that was at AdeptiCon.
Oh, I hope they weren't.
There were all these little kids that kept coming by the booth, and we had some of the Warzone stickers, which were really nice.
Yep.
So I kept giving them little kids, being like, "Make sure your dad helps you put this on a car."
Oh my goodness, it's terrible. One thing we'll have to do next year is dice. I got this
we can do dice.
From Armored Wolf, who make awesome dice bags. It's my buddy Trevor from Alaska. So
we can do that.
And this one from Listening to Paint Dry. I got this from Mike and Dan. So Listening to Paint Dry is an excellent podcast you should check out. And we'll have some dice, maybe have some dice next year. That'd be cool.
We can do that. We'll have shirts. We can get whatever.
We've got a whole year. Definitely. Brian says he's got a handful. Rick says, with this being my first time at Adepticon, I say it was a great experience, eye-opening and inspirational. I look forward to attending more into the future. Or in the future. Into the future. Chris has had a blast tossing those out. Hillary informed me that tossing them off the 5th floor mezzanine would have gotten me tossed out. Could have gotten me tossed out. Quite possibly.
Yeah, let's not do that.
But, yeah. Nice. Okay, jumping back into our photos. We've got about 15 minutes left. We've got a whole bunch of photos to go through. First up, so this is Vince Venturella. Absolutely awesome dude. You should check out his YouTube channel. If you get a chance to take a class with him, definitely do. If you are looking to level up your painting, Vince has an awesome Patreon, which is focused on improving your painting and getting critiques and that sort of thing. Vince is the man for that. Vince is seen here wearing his signature I'm Vince Warhammer Weekly green apron that he wears as part of his brand. And the awesome thing is that I also got a photo with Vince Venturella. Or somebody cosplaying as Vince. With the I'm Vince Warhammer Weekly green.
Yeah, so this is the real Vince, and then this next one is not the real Vince.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one you're looking at. Are you looking at that one?
That is not real Vince.
I'm just going to keep switching the photos back and forth.
To be fair, this guy could in fact be also a Vince, but that's not Vince Venturella.
No, it's not.
He could be Vince.
He could be Vince. What I'm hoping is that we might be able to convince Vince to join us next week to talk about
either Vince or
possibly the real one.
Okay,
let's go with that.
So there's at least a 50% chance that we'll have the real Vince Venturella on next week.
Yes. Okay. Let's go with that. Awesome. Now let's have a quick look at... these are some of the entries that caught our eye. These are not... I don't know that any of these won anything, but some entries from Golden Demon. There is a mix. I did not put them all in because there are a lot of them.
And again, anything we don't get to tonight, we will go over next week as well. Like,
Maybe.
AdeptiCon is too big for one show.
It is. It is. Yes. So first up, this is a Chaos Night. I think you took this photo.
Which one is it? There were like a couple.
There were, but this is the one with the... It's the red one with the...
Oh yeah.
Molten...
The freehand work on this thing was insane. So the tilting shield, he has like a demon face, which is cool. But then on the right shoulder pauldron, he has like this whole demon's head that's like leering outside the skull. But he still painted the trim so it goes up through the middle of it.
Right.
And then on the opposite pauldron, you can just barely see it. There's like an open eye. Okay. It's just like a whole eyeball, and he did like all of the striations that would be like in the cornea, and like he did the eyelashes and stuff. It was pretty impressive.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then below that is Jay's Minotaur's Land Raider.
Yeah. Yep. and a very tiny Leviathan Dreadnought all the way down the bottom there.
Way over there.
Yeah. Next up, we have a squad of Noise Marines, or a squad of, I guess, Slaneshi Chaos Space Marines, including the limited edition Noise Marine model.
Yeah, I took a picture of this because the Noise Marine was in it. But then I was like, oh, the whole squad looks really good. But the Noise Marine is one of my favorite models of all time.
Right.
He is just so great.
He is. That is definitely awesome. I'm pretty sure I saw one or two of these models being painted on a YouTube channel somewhere. I'm pretty sure I did.
The new sculpt is such a great, faithful sort of homage to Jess's original Noise Marine.
Yeah. Yep. It does look. Looks really nice. Nice.
His mohawk's the best.
Yep. Next up is. I think this is one of Vince's. I could be wrong. He's very much Vince's sort of Chaos Knight colors, like House Divine sort of scheme.
This is really cool. Again, I don't know if those are transfers or if they're freehands, but I'm assuming they're freehands.
I think they are freehand, yeah.
I mean, they better be if you're entering in here, but on the shoulder pauldron on his left, but our right, is the coiled snake, and the snake was on fire, which is kind of cool.
Oh, nice. And
then he changed the trim around all of the pads, so on the shoulder pads there's like runes that look like they're glowing.
Okay.
And on the main like carapace above his head, there's like blue fire.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then like the stripes on the leg were great, and like the fading, all the panels fade from like that bright fuchsia into like almost like a deep sea blue.
Right. Yeah, so
I love the color palette. I thought the color palette was really solid.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Next up, so Age of Sigmar unit, Daughters of Cain. I think it was one of the. I don't know if it was an Underworlds. Was this an Underworlds movement?
It's an Underworlds group, but I think it was a unit entry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look great. I mean, who doesn't love murder elves?
Yep. I noticed a sort of a theme that you were very sort of excited by that fuchsia, magenta, and teal kind of look.
I didn't realize that. Like that wasn't. Those are definitely the three pictures you've picked. But I like looked through my phone and there's a bunch of them.
Yep.
But yeah, whenever people get magenta right, it always is really, really eye catching.
Yeah. The reason, of course, that I mentioned that is that we also have this photo, which are the Ogroid Therodons, I think.
If it's the warrior ones, yeah, it's the Therodons.
Yeah, Therodons from the Yeah.
Yeah, those are really cool.
They do look great. And I think these are Vince's as well.
Yeah, they looked really good.
But again,
He did a really good job transitioning the armor plates, which I really dug.
Yeah.
And their skin looks. You can't really see it in this picture, but their skin looks really rad. Like the way he did like all the growths and like the crusts on their heads and stuff. They just looked really cool.
Yeah. No, it is fantastic. Fantastic unit. Looks beautiful.
And the banner is all hand painted and.
Yeah. Yeah. Super awesome. Then we have this cool Hecaton Land Fortress.
Oh, I knew you'd like that one.
Yeah. Yep.
The base is insane.
Then the base.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is by Katarzyna Gorska, who is going to be volume 9 of the Art of series. And the reason the base is so insane is that Katarzyna does wood sculpting as well. Her dad's a wood sculptor, and she's learned a thing or two over the years. And she has some fantastic, beautifully sculpted bases.
Yeah, Cliff, the picture here does not do the base justice.
It does not.
It does not.
No.
It is super dynamic.
Yeah. Yep. It's absolutely awesome. And yeah, that the crazy chaos spawn type thing, just reaching up and pulling it apart.
See, I figured it was more like a Tyranid like beast.
Okay.
It's like it has like the flesh hooks on the end of one of its tentacles, and I assumed that it's like some sort of like Remoraz, kind of like
Okay.
volcanic heat polar worm, because like its tentacles are literally punching into and melting the armor plates.
Right.
And then hey, look, it's Jay's Minotaur's Lander in the background again.
I'm so glad you got all these shots of it off into the distance.
I got his Lander as well, but like we just keep getting pictures that have it in the background.
Yeah. It's definitely good. Chris has to head out a bit early. See you next week, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Yep. And as Josh says, keep on slinging paint for sure.
For sure.
Okay. Next up.
I don't know if it made it. Did you see the I don't know if it made the collection here, but somebody had painted a Legion Dreadnought like a Gundam.
Yeah. Yep.
I thought that was really, really neat. It took me a second. I was like, why does he look? And I was like, oh, it's a Gundam.
Yeah. That unfortunately I didn't make the cut for this evening, but
this is a cool duel. I loved that this was in the duel category.
Yep. It's fantastic. So the great thing here, so it's the side of a Stomper or a Gargant or something like that. Yes, a build, paint, play meetup next year at AdeptiCon would be cool. We should definitely do that.
We could definitely do that.
So yeah, it's representative of the side of a Gargant or a vehicle of some kind. The grot there is hanging onto the drone, the Tau drone, and his foot is up against the gun, and that's the connection point for it all.
Yeah, it is really cool.
So the connection point is through the grot's foot and then up into the Tau drone. But yeah, it looks fantastic. So this is done by, I think, Dave Gormley. I saw him post it on the Heavier Metal Facebook page. And he said that this was the second year in a row that he entered a grot dueling with something. And second year, he walked away with a commended entry. So definitely cool.
Everybody likes grots.
Everybody loves grots for sure. But beautiful work, Dave. Next up,
I also really liked the disconnect between like the orc vehicle is like super weather damaged and worn, and like his rust looks amazing, and like there's all the wear, and then the Tau drone is like spotless.
Yeah.
There's like not a mark on it.
Yeah. No, it is definitely cool juxtaposition there. So yeah, this one's a War Master Titan. This was painted by Ben Hardy, friend of the show, who did the campaign map that we showed earlier.
Oh, nice.
So Yeah, this was absolutely beautiful. This also got a commended entry. But yeah, absolutely awesome detail.
He's really cool. It's a really cool model kit. I actually don't run a War Master, but I know Brian does in his
Right.
list.
Yeah, every time I see one, it's like, maybe I should get one. Maybe I should get one.
He's big.
I may never ever play AT, but still want to get one. But no, it looks.
He's pretty big too. He's like
He's knight size, right? 40
close. Like
close to.
a Warlord is a little bit bigger than like a Redemptor Dread,
Right.
and this thing is a little bit bigger than that. So it's like almost Dread Knight size.
Yeah. Next up, though, Ben was playing in the AT18 events, and they look amazing. They do indeed. Yeah. His models look great.
I love his one little kneecap gun.
Yeah. It's crazy. So this is a photo that I took of Jay's Land Raider. Hooray!
Hey, man, look at it. Point of place. Pride of place. He's got his own photo and everything.
Yep. Definitely cool. But yeah, this looks really awesome. You can see it in sort of the shadows there, but there isn't a lot on there, which is really nice. But there's a lot of sort of nice green verdigris. Obviously, green verdigris. There's a lot of verdigris on there. Just nice and subtle around the places where water would be pooling.
What is that? Is that an Achilleos variant? Because it's got like the command thing and then the dual storm bolters or dual heavy bolters.
I'm not sure. That's a good
I don't
question.
know what variant that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to get Jay to jump in and let us know. I suspect he's probably still traveling back to Florida at the moment.
Right on.
But yeah, it was super cool to see Jay again at the show. Prometheus. Is that what it's called? Okay. Dave would know. Dave probably has 2, 3.
I think the
Several.
Achilleos is the other one that I like. It's the one that has it looks like a Vulcan mega bolter kind of in the
Oh,
front,
right,
and then
yep.
a rocket pod. That's the one that I really like.
Yeah. But no, Jay's done an awesome job there. Looks great. Then I think we move into some photos of people who folks that attended Adepticon. Here's a shot that Jake got of Cliff with his Iron Warriors army almost arrayed for battle. Do you remember taking that shot?
Yeah.
That photo?
We were so the Games Workshop booth is immediately to our right.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I saw him setting up, and I was like, "Oh, go over and I'll take some photos." And yeah, his army looks great.
Yep.
He's got like his Warsmith is kind of the guy that's standing by himself in between the 2 squads on the front left.
Yep.
And then he's got like a Rhino, and then his Vindicators. I can't remember if he said he 3D printed or it was a kit. So it's just like the front mantlet piece.
Yep.
And then there's like the top with the fans, and then he was laughing about it because he was like, "I made these because there wasn't a Horus Heresy
Vindicator
variant at the
Yeah.
time, and now it's out." And he's like, or it's coming, and he was like, "Yeah, it wasn't available at the time, so that's why he did this." But they look cool. And then he's got a Spartan on the left and another Rhino on the right behind the little embankment or barricade thing.
Yep.
And then he's got a Contemptor that's mixed in there too. But really, really sharp looking army.
But yeah, they definitely look
His basic is awesome, and his weathering is great.
definitely looks super cool. I think you've got a few more photos that we've taken. We'll probably put those into a bit of a photo dump in the Facebook group.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, great work there, Cliff. Excellent to see them.
Cliff did a great job. That was awesome. He had some guy came over while he was standing there and while we were taking photos, and this guy came over and was like, "Man, this looks really cool." And like Cliff got dragged into a big conversation. I was like, "I'm gonna go and you can go ahead and talk to this guy." I was like asking a ton of questions about like heresy and like the Warriors, stuff like that. It was a good time.
I think my favorite thing here is that there's a guy in the background sort of leaning into the shot and going,
Oh yeah.
looking directly at the camera. Looks awesome.
He
Yeah, I
wants
see
to
them
be-
with bases there, Cliff. I see them. You did a great job with those bases. Very cool. very pleasing to see them all done in that little victory lap done around the edge of the base. For anybody who doesn't know, that's what you call the if that's the final thing you do on the miniature, is paint that.
That's the victory lap.
You paint the rim black or brown or whatever color you paint it, and that's your victory lap. You're like, yeah, I'm done.
I think in particular on these models, I think the red Martian bases really makes them pop because they're so cool tones with them being all metallics and blacks and grays. I think having the red really like livens them up. So
yeah, definitely. Oh, Dave almost says he only has one Prometheus at the moment.
that's fine. Tick that box. Variants, Land Raider variants I own.
Definitely cool. Excellent. Next up is Mike Stubbs took a photo of the pool loaded with all the wargamers who wanted to go swimming rather than game. So
I didn't even know there was a pool at the Renaissance.
neither did I, but apparently there's a pool.
I would have totally gone swimming if I had known there was a pool there.
I probably wouldn't have.
Where is it?
I guess it's I suspect it's down. It's below the restaurant. Out the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess. Isn't that where all the classrooms are?
No, like further back than those. The restaurant's
Okay.
further back. Yeah, a lot further back.
That makes sense, I guess. Yeah, I never thought of that.
Yep. Brian said he packed his suit, but he never got there. That's okay. Looks like Mike did, but I don't know that he went in. That'd be
That is
cool.
pretty great photo, though.
Greg from Modifius sent us this, or posted this in the Facebook group. This was his favorite, one of his favorite things. There's a group from, I think, Cincinnati who were running a lot of Fallout demos, and they were doing a bunch of it in cosplay. So
Nice.
definitely cool there. That
That's
gun
pretty
looks
great.
awesome. What type of gun is that?
No, Fallout gun.
Fallout gun? Nice. Yep. And yeah, there we go. Cliff and Brian, yeah, it's tucked away at the back behind the elevator bank on the first floor, under the lobby.
Okay.
Plasma rifle. Thank you, Dan. That is a plasma rifle. But yeah, I think I had a number of different cosplay bits and pieces going on. Hank says, my kids enjoy that lightly used pool all Adepticon long. I can imagine it, yeah. I think if Lucy went, she would not leave the pool.
I could see that.
No. Justice, I think the plumbers replaced one of those the other day.
What, the plasma rifle?
Talking
or
about the
pool?
plasma rifle. I think plasma rifle, not the pool. Very cool. Next up, we have Brian's Legio Crucius. Definitely cool.
Next year, I'm gonna stay at the Renaissance next year.
Okay.
As much as I like staying across the. It was nice.
Yeah.
A lot of knights and not knights. There's a lot of titans.
Yes, it is a lot of titans.
Right there, 1, 2, 3, 4 warhounds, 2 direwolves,
Yep.
and then he's got 1,
2
2
Reavers.
reavers,
Two
and then
2 Warbringers.
2 warbringers,
2 Warlords. The Psi Titan.
and then the war master.
Yeah. Brian says, Jake. Oh, yeah, there we go.
I'm fading. It could be that I'm fading. I'm not gonna lie, I'm exhausted.
It's a little bit of both. We're almost done. Almost there.
Those guys are great. That's how many? How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
It's a lot.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Can you even run all those, Brian?
Not all at the same time. Sure you
Like
can.
when I play, I usually do a maniple. So I usually run 3 warlords and 2 warhounds, and then I run another one I run 1 warlord and 4 warhounds.
Right.
but I usually just do a mana pool is supposed to be 5 slots. So
It's your game. You can do whatever you like.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I have never used the Psi Titan. That thing just looks terrifying.
Yep. Exactly. There we go. Big enough game you can. And Dan says that you can run anything when points don't matter. Exactly.
When you don't know how to count.
Drew Drescher posted this picture. His favorite thing at the show was seeing his son interact with the giant Primaris Marine. Or, I guess, the life-size Primaris Marine.
Yeah.
It's cool to see that out in the hallway again. Definitely good.
He's not quite life size.
Not quite. Is he a little bit short for a stormtrooper?
So last year I got a great photo. I stood on the base with him and took a photo, and his head is like right here. And
okay,
I'm not that tall. So he should be a little bit tall. He should be like a foot taller.
Short for Primaris Marine. I guess that's why he's up on the base. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. But no, it was awesome to see how many kids and families were there this year as well. There was a lot of awesome stuff. In the hobby seminar area, they ran a painting class. Who ran that? Ben Comets and Elizabeth Beckley ran a painting class for kids. I think they had 24 kids in it.
It is a great family show. Like I ran, was it Saturday? I think it was Friday or Saturday. I ran into Jeff Wallachs.
All right. Yep.
Another old buddy of ours, and he was there with his kids.
Yep.
And you could see the fatherly pride. He was telling me that his oldest got to play in a tournament like on his own.
Right.
And did really well. And he was like, "Oh, he played by himself. He's older." And it was really funny to see it. It was really cool. But it was great. Yeah, Dan and Brian, you guys get it.
Right. Excellent. And sorry, Dan says Mike Williams can run that many Titans. You know Mike Williams? Or the Mike Williams with the Princeps Senior or Legio Crucius?
So, it is an inside joke. Mike Williams, I mean, I'm sure there are Mike Williams out there, but this particular Mike Williams is a made-up character.
Okay. I actually know a Mike Williams, though, so that's why I was confused.
It is not. I promise you, it is not that Mike Williams.
Okay, great. Excellent. A normal family hitting up in the front of the hotel. It was all, what do you all do when you're not doing this? Does not compute. What do you mean not doing this? Fantastic. Next photo we've got is from Carl Tuttle, from the formerly of the Independent Characters podcast. So this is meeting up with a bunch of folks from both California and who've also appeared on the show. We've got Todd. So Carl's on the left. His wife Shell is in the front. Todd from Table War is just to Carl's right. Going around, there's Jody from the show, and there's a guy with the black shirt lanyard. It's got a green symbol on it. Is Sky Herrick from Herrick Games and Hobbies, who is also on the board of the Novo Open Charitable Foundation. So it's always cool to catch up with Sky and all the folks in this photo. But so yeah, this is Carl's thing, catching up with people that he only gets a chance to see once or twice a year. And I would say that is also my favorite thing about Adepticon. I think Jake would say that his favorite thing about Adepticon, though, we're coming up to the final photo of the show, so just bear with us 5 more minutes. And it's a photo of Chris and Jake throwing down with some Horus Heresy 2.0.
Yeah, it was a good time. I was a little bummed out. So we were upstairs. We went out to dinner, and we're like, "Where do you want to play?" And we thought, "Oh, well, we'll just play out in the hallway because there's all the open tables." Yep. And it was super loud. Those guys were doing that.
All the meat grinder.
Yeah. And like they were super loud, which is, I mean, they were having fun. That was great. But like, we wanted to go somewhere we'd all kind of like chat and stuff.
Yep.
So we popped into the Horus Heresy room. Because the big crowd behind Chris on the left side of the photo,
yep,
they were having like a character battle.
Yep, like a battle royale.
Yeah. So they were like, oh, these tables are all empty. So we grabbed some terrain, and Dan would set up the board for us. And then you can see Brian Steele sitting down behind us. And then Dan is there somewhere. And then Brian Martin is off to my left. And then you popped in for a minute.
Yep.
And then we got through turn 1, and Chris basically pasted 2 of my tanks. And then turn 2, I blew up like 2 or 3 of his tanks.
Yep.
And then turn 2, he got 2 more of my tanks and took an objective. And then on my turn 2, I pasted 2 more of his tanks and I took an objective. And then he got to do turn 3. And then they were like, okay, you guys got to pack up. And I was like, are you kidding me? They're like, oh, the rooms close at midnight. And I was like, I wish we had known that. We wouldn't have played in here.
Yep.
So we used Bill Paint play stickers as our objectives down the middle of the board.
Yep.
And then Chris was like, just take your turn 3 and I'll pack up slow.
Right.
So I like took my turn 3 and basically waxed the whole left side of the table. And then I was ready to call it a draw. Chris thinks that I had him. It would have been close. The biggest thing I had in my advantage was the 2, you can barely see them in this photo, but walking under that piece of terrain are my 2 Leviathans.
Yeah.
And they did like the God Emperor's work. Like they, like last blasts that autocannon shells were just bouncing off of them. They got shot at probably 30 times. Hank's like, if only you knew someone. Yeah, again, we didn't want to be a pain. We just figured we're like, oh, we'll finish our game. And they're like, no, we got to close all the doors at midnight. And I was like, okay, cool. So we just packed up and then we hung out and stuff. But but it was fun. But yeah, in retrospect, I was like, we never should have played in this room.
Next time, you know.
It was fun though. It was a good time. And then Simon Berman is like literally off to our left, off camera.
Right.
But that was fun, and the terrain was great. Like that map we're playing on was actually a Warhammer community stamped mat. It was like a Games Workshop mat.
Okay.
That I've never seen. It's a cool like blasted lunar surface.
Cool.
And it's really really cool in that it's like faded and stuff. Yeah. So Hank said if Chris had showed up to a spray team, he could have stayed.
There will probably be 3 spray teams this year, or 2, maybe 1 or 2 this year and 1 or 2 next year before the show.
So Chris and I will both volunteer for a spray team. We will.
Nice.
Chris is super psyched for it. I will do my best to help out. Plus, who doesn't want to watch Megaforce? So.
Yep. Exactly.
It was fun. Yeah. The Chris did some really mighty fine shooting. I basically got to take my freshly painted Sakaran Venator out of my case and deploy him, and then he got blown up, and I got to put him back in the case. Like that's
awesome.
Essentially all he got to do.
Something's got to be the target, though, right?
Yeah, it's cool. That thing drew a lot of fire. It's super dangerous. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. I know that there are a bunch more photos around. I've got a couple of photos. You've got some photos. Brian's probably got some photos. I think Chris has a bunch more. If we can.
Dan apparently has a ton.
What's that?
Dan apparently has a ton.
Yep, Dan has a ton. If you guys can all load them into the Facebook group, we'll all be able to take a look at those and check them out. It'll be very exciting to see in-battle shots. But no, that was cool. I'm glad you guys got to play, even if it was only for a few turns.
It was good. It was definitely good fun. Chris is a great sport, and he knows things really well. He knows the system really well. This was literally my 3rd game of Heresy.
Right.
So it was fun though. It was a good time. I definitely think the list I have is problematic for people who are not thinking I'm going to deal with a ton of tanks.
Not prepared for vehicles. Yeah.
I mean, when I played against Ben, my first practice game,
yep.
I ran this list against Ben, and the only reason it was close is because of the objectives.
Okay.
Because at the end of the game, he had killed, I think, 1 dreadnought and 4 tanks, and I had killed everything he had except for 4 models.
Right. They were holding objectives.
That was it.
Nice.
Like 4 single troop dudes.
Yep. Wasn't afraid of the tanks. 4 dreads, though. Yeah, 4 dreads is pretty crazy. Pretty brutal.
Yeah. I mean, the Derrideo is just fun. He's not super great. He has about the same firepower as the Sakaran.
If he's on your side, he's fun.
Well, no, but I mean, like, it's not like the close combat dreadnoughts are the ones you have to be worried about. In Heresy, close combat dreadnoughts are brutal.
Yep.
And the Derrideo, he's never gonna fight you. He's just gonna he's a Sakaran on legs. He just sits in the back of the board and like shoots a Sakaran's worth of shots.
Awesome. Catch you later, Scott. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Mark Henry's here. He says, I live it vicariously through you. No dice this con for me. Mark was there slinging with Goblin's Hut, which is his company, slinging the Dirty Down products. So the rust, the moss, the verdigris, as well as the new sprays. And hopefully soon I'll be able to get a chance to try those sprays out.
Mark sent me an email. I think now that I'm back from AdeptiCon and I have a week to kind of like ease back into things, I'm going to look through it all and talk to Ben.
Cool. That'd be great. Yeah, awesome if you guys can pick that up. But that's our show for tonight. There we go. So I'll send them to you once my feet work again. Nice. That's all good. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. Next week we'll hopefully have Vince Venturella on as a guest. I will be contacting him. I'm doing a follow-up tomorrow to confirm everything. If not, keep an eye out on the Facebook page and you'll see who we've got coming. Dave closes on his house tomorrow. Hooray! Hope it goes smoothly, Dave. It'll be all good. Yep, it'll be nice to for you to get settled in there and set up your painting desk.
While he's still in the chat, I would like to say a sincere thank you to Hank.
Yeah.
Pass that along to Matthias and Shelly and Dustin, and the rest of the team.
Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much work that goes into that show, and you can tell it is definitely a labor of love, and we all love going to it. It's such a fun time. So
yeah, absolutely awesome. We love it. We had a great time. We will be back again and again and again. Yeah,
only 364 more days.
Yeah, it's a little bit less now. It's like 362.
That's true.
Assuming it's at exactly the same time. It might change. It might be a week further.
It's always the third. It's always the third weekend.
No, it's not always the third weekend.
Really?
It may feel.
I think every time I've gone, it's been the third weekend.
Oh, okay, you need to go to a few more then. Cool. Awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. And don't forget to build, paint, play. Wait. What's going on?
What am I waiting for? What happened?
Wait.
Shut up and sit down. Romantic, isn't it? Shut up and sit down.